I'm Mike Chabornio. Today on Teen Perspectives 2 News, move over J.K. Rowling, meet a local teenager who's already written and published a book, and she's just 16.
I'm Tyler Conway. If you send in your SAT scores to more than a handful of colleges, you know it can cost you big bucks. Today we find out where that money goes.
In this economy, almost everyone is looking for a job. Teen Perspectives' Patrick Bassler has 3 tips to make you stand out when you apply. I'm Harris Rubenstein. Now get ready for your Teen Perspective.
Hello and welcome to this month's edition of Teen Perspective 2 News. I'm Zach Newman.
And I'm Anna Muckerman. On a cold day, some hot chocolate and a good book can be the perfect way to relax. Wouldn't it be cool if the book you're reading was written by someone your own age? I talked to a high school sophomore who is now a published author.
But as she lifted the beautiful dagger, she felt it was truly a part of her.
16-year-old Casey Ballack has turned her passion for writing into a published novel.
I had always loved writing. Writing's just been something that I've done my whole life since I was little.
Her book, Silver Dagger, was published last September.
It's a paranormal suspense fantasy novel about a girl whose sister commits suicide, but her sister doesn't stay gone. She comes back, and the book is really about the sister, whose name is Cassandra. It's about her journey trying to figure out what happened to her sister and why she committed suicide. Had she imagined the entire thing? Something was lying on her chest, she realized.
The style of Casey's favorite author, Michael Grant, influenced her writing process.
The way he writes his stories, he writes in little chunks with different characters. That kind of inspired me to write it in the same format where I have chunks of different points of view, so you get a lot of different characters' perspectives.
But she's worked hard to put her own spin on her writing.
I've read a lot of fantasy books, but I kind of wanted to do my own thing.
Casey has been featured in the Baltimore Sun and radio and television interviews. Casey says at her book signing in November, a few people were expecting an older writer.
You don't usually see 16-year-old authors just everywhere, so they were a little bit surprised sometimes, yeah.
Things have changed at school since classmates learned of her success.
People who didn't know me, they're like in awe. It's kind of fun to get the little famous attention there.
What's next for Casey?
I would love to write a sequel. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time, so I would love to write one eventually, but I'm not 100% sure when it's going to happen.
Casey will continue with her love of writing, one page at a time.
His hands shook violently and his eyes were rolled upwards at first.
Casey says writing a novel takes time. She's been working on hers since 8th grade. You can buy Silver Dagger at Barnes & Noble or online. To learn more about Casey and her book, visit caseyballack.tateauthor.com. Another
teen has taken up the challenge to write a book. 19-year-old Jacqueline Appelson's book, Here, follows the struggle of a teen who is going deaf because of a rare genetic disorder. The main character must have surgery to remove a tumor, but the surgery will cause her to lose her hearing. The California author's first novel is available in bookstores and online. Service dogs are life changers for thousands of people with physical disabilities. Marissa Russell shows us how one special dog is helping a Wisconsin high school student get balance back into his life.
Experts estimate there are about 387,000 service dogs in the United States, and it's dogs like Heart who change the lives of physically challenged teens across the nation. In the halls of Appleton West, it's not the pitter-patter of feet. It's the paws of Heart, the reason Cole Freund is enjoying his senior year.
Everyone loves him, so they're always like going by my locker.
Heart is Cole's service dog and best friend.
Yeah, he's just a companion to go everywhere with.
He has his own bed in Angie Bruner's Spanish class.
Anytime he does something in class, the class laughs, or we use him as an example, and he makes everybody happy in class.
Cole's life wasn't always happy. 3 years ago, he was diagnosed with cerebellar ataxia, a rare neurological disorder that affects fine motor skills and balance.
Really hard to walk around, to get around and like balance.
Cole used the walls to keep from falling down.
It got so bad that I just went down to the office and I just told Mr. Harches that I couldn't walk in the hallways anymore.
Cole became depressed.
I was just kind of mad that I couldn't do stuff with my friends.
He lacked a lot of self-confidence, and his esteem was very down.
Cole's mom didn't know how to help.
A wreck, very depressed, I mean, as a mother, you're hearing your son, what's wrong with me? He's crying.
After searching, his mother found Heart, who helps steady Cole when he stumbles.
If I'm gonna fall, you know, I could reach down and grab him, and he knows as soon as I touch him that he's got to stop and like plant his paws down. Then I can like stabilize and wait until I'm good to go.
Hart has given Cole more than just a sense of balance.
Just more confident and willing to do more stuff.
Well, Hart has changed his life dramatically. He's much happier now. He smiles all the time.
Shelley is amazed at the changes in her son.
It's just so much better. He's living this year. For the last 2 years, he was in the house with us, hanging out with us all the time, not going anywhere, you know. And now he's got some friends calling.
And Cole has his sights set on a brighter future.
Before, it used to be like, I don't care if I graduate. I don't know what's going on with me. I'll amount to nothing. And, you know, he's looking forward.
With the help of his best friend.
We just have a special relationship. You know, I don't know how to explain it.
Hart has given Cole a fresh start and the opportunity to walk the halls with his classmates. Cole and his best friend are well on their way to graduating from high school. For Team Perspective 2 News, I'm Marissa Russell.
With one photo and a little help from their social media network, a family now has a furry four-legged Facebook edition. It's nothing new. Kids love puppies. So when the Cordell kids asked their dad for one, he thought he had a good plan.
I thought I was being very clever by saying, well, you'd have to get 1 million likes.
It took less than 6 hours for the sign to hit 1 million mark. As promised, Dad came through and adopted what they think is a Lab and Shepherd mix.
Writing a blog got one teenager noticed by Lady Gaga. The singer called Tavi Jefferson the future of journalism. Tavi is the editor-in-chief of Rookie, an online magazine for teen girls. Like any teen in America, she has her inspiration, Taylor Swift. Tavi started the blog as a way to showcase her love of fashion. Many young girls and women dream of being on the front cover of a major magazine, but according to Victoria's Secret model Cameron Russell, being a cover girl is the luck of the draw.
Saying that you want to be a model when you grow up is akin to saying that you want to win the Powerball when you grow up. It's, you know, out of your control, and it's awesome, and it's not a career path.
During her TEDx talk, Cameron said that when girls tell her they want to be models, she simply replies, why?
You know, you can be anything. You could be the president of the United States, or the inventor of the next internet, or a ninja cardiothoracic surgeon poet, which would be awesome because you'd be the first one.
Although her last answer was slightly ridiculous, Cameron wants the model wannabes of the world to be who they are and try new things to find out what they really want to do with their lives.
Miss America 2013 was by far one of the most competitive years yet. Miss New York took home the crown, but Miss Montana won the America's Choice Award. 18-year-old Alexis Weinman won an online competition that landed her in the top 15. But take off the makeup and heels and shoes, and she's not your ordinary beauty queen. Weinman was diagnosed with autism at the age of 11 and has made Miss America history, becoming the youngest and first autistic contestant to compete. During the year of her reign, she's traveled across her state promoting her platform called Normal is Just a Dryer Setting, Living with Autism.
Everyone's different, whether they're autistic or not. It not only spreads autism acceptance, but universal acceptance.
Alexis continues to serve throughout her state and serves as a positive role model for people everywhere. You don't need to break the bank in order to look like Miss America. Yahoo's Financially Fit breaks down the top 17 beauty products for you to try in 2013. For amazing lashes, try Maybelline's Rocket Mascara. Try NYX Lip Butter Gloss for a great lip color payoff. And John Frieda's Deep Conditioner will leave your hair rejuvenated. Here's what's coming up next on Teen Perspective. Looking for work? You're not alone. Nearly a quarter of teens are unemployed. We'll give you tips to land a job.
And a mother's effort to keep her daughter's memory alive, the author of Heart of a Mother gives us a view between the lines of her daughter's life, death, and legacy.
And later, we'll show you how to maximize scholarship money. All this and more next on Teen Perspective 2 News.
Welcome back to Teen Perspective 2 News. I'm Zach Newman.
And I'm Anna Muckerman. Recent studies show that 30% of teenage American girls report having met people in person they only had communicated with through social networking sites. According to Dr. Jenny Knoll, a psychologist at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, most are victims of abuse or neglect. Police say if you don't know the person sending you a winky face, don't respond. Anyone could be hiding behind a cute picture. The Polaris Project says modern-day slavery is happening in your own neighborhood. Teen Perspective's Shane Rabinowitz found out what a group of local students are doing to speak for the voiceless.
Kids as young as 6 or 7 are being forced to sell their bodies. Victims advocates estimate there are up to 100,000 children in the sex trade in the U.S. Now, some local teens are banding together to help end human trafficking.
No importance put on this issue, and there's like no one looking into it.
Friends School of Baltimore senior Samantha Nokian says she's always known about human trafficking, but it's never hit quite close to home.
My dad is affiliated with the Army, so he always told me about human trafficking because he's briefed on it every year.
That's until she heard a presentation by Molly Doyle, a victim advocate.
You see movies like Pretty Women, which very much glamorize prostitution, and I think that often people don't realize that a lot of women and girls who are in prostitution are in fact being trafficked by their pimps.
I was really moved because it's something not a lot of people know about.
She realized just how serious the issue was and how it impacted vulnerable young girls.
It's very easy for them to be boyfriended, meaning a pimp kind of approaches them and basically seduces them, makes them feel special, feel like they're going to be taken care of.
Samantha and the Turnaround Club are working to raise awareness of how common sex trafficking is in the United States. And it's something they take personally.
There are people in this room that have siblings that are that age, and to even imagine something like that happening really affected us deeply.
Part of the effort is using social media to share information with others.
That's why we need the help of teenagers everywhere. We need you to create programs at other schools. We need you to create clubs like Turnaround.
Doyle is thrilled these students are passionate about helping victims of human trafficking.
Because I had been told when you're talking to high school students, do not talk about sex trafficking, that they're not mature enough to handle it.
But these students have made it their mission to help achieve the Polaris Project's goal of ending modern slavery by the year 2020.
To help support the club's efforts, attend a benefit concert on March 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Friends School of Baltimore. Also, follow them on Twitter at @HTBeProactive. I'm Shane Rabinowitz with your Teen Perspective. Back to you.
Shawnee High School's Josh Borelli has had to tan 8 minutes a day for medical treatment. The basketball player told the Philadelphia Times he's a little embarrassed when he has to go into the tanning salons. Borelli was diagnosed with Muka Haberman in 8th grade. It's an autoimmune skin disorder, and Josh is believed to be the only person in the country with the condition. Johns Hopkins offers a way to help other kids who aren't as lucky as Josh and need constant medical attention. The Kilometers for Kids fundraiser, a 5K, 2K, or 1K fun run, raises money for Johns Hopkins Children's Center patients. To join the walk, you can visit the Kids Helping Hopkins website and register online.
She was the first African-American woman from Maryland to die in the Iraq War. Specialist Tokari Green of Rosedale. Teen Perspective's Chantel Bevins tells us what's being done to keep her legacy alive.
Takara's mother is honoring her memory in person and on the pages of her book, The Heart of a Mother. The book recalls Takara's life and the moments that led to her death. Yvonne Green remembers the good memories she had with her daughter.
I just reflect on what she did, how she did it, when she did it, how excited she was.
Specialist Takara Green got to live out her dreams. She put her life in danger, even though her family worried about her going to war.
She just really loved what she did, and we had to accept that.
The Heart of a Mother is one of the main ways that Takara's legacy is kept alive. The book is also a daily reminder of Takara's triumphs and struggles as a hometown hero.
I feel that the book could be a way that no matter where you might be in time or where you might be on the planet, you can read up about her life.
But Takara's memory also continues in another member of her family.
Our biggest reminder of her would be my granddaughter.
Just months after Takara was killed, her niece Tiara was born. The little girl never knew her aunt, but has been told of her sacrifices.
If you show her a picture of Aunt T and you say, "Who is that?" "Auntie," and you say, "Where's Auntie?" "In heaven with Jesus."
Through Takara's family and mother's work, she is gone but not forgotten. The book is available at Greetings and Readings in Hunt Valley, online at Barnes & Noble, and at hunterhartpublishing.com. For Teen Perspective 2 News, I'm Chantal Bevins.
Next on Teen Perspective 2 News, SATs can get expensive. Wondering why you have to pay to send scores for a test you already paid for? Zach Newman will tell you where the money for the SATs is really going. Need some extra cash? We'll show you the best resources for finding and keeping a job. All this and more next.
$11. That's how much it costs for College Board to send your SAT scores to a single college. Slap that on top of a $50 test taking fee and the hole in your pocket gets wider and wider. But do you even know where your money's going?
The average teen will apply to more than 9 schools, according to the National Association for College Admission Counseling. To take the SAT or ACT, it costs $50. You are given waivers for the cost of sending scores to 4 colleges. After that, scores cost $11 per school.
I had to shell out almost $100 to send to my first picks. I knew that's how it worked, and there's nothing I could do, but it was a little frustrating.
Some students we spoke with felt the cost was unnecessary and only goes to line the pockets of College Board executives.
Not everybody has, the means to send, countless SAT score fees, every time they want to apply to school. That's, kind of taking advantage of your customer. And especially when, that's the only way you can do it, I don't think it's entirely fair.
Teens don't see why they even need to go through the College Board to send the scores.
I was a little annoyed because it's not a big deal to send out a test score. I could do it myself.
The College Board representative, Leslie Sapuka, explains in an email the money students pay to send scores goes to the cost of developing, administrating, and scoring the exams. She said that, quote, "We understand that keeping the costs of our programs and services as low as possible is very important and have always done so. Standardized tests are extremely expensive to create, administer, and score. For example, exam fees fund test development, which is a multi-year, complex process," end quote. Sabuco goes on to say the cost of the exam covers shipping costs of sending millions of boxes of exam materials to the various test locations. The fee also helps provide equal access to the tests, which includes fee waivers. College Board says that more than 370,000 students in the graduating class of 2012 benefited from SAT fee waivers. That amounts to roughly $44 million in SAT services to fee waiver recipients during the 2011-2012 academic year.
But do not feel as though you're chained to footing the testing bill. No matter what, you can avoid the cost of ACT or SAT altogether by applying to only test optional schools. This means that applicants don't have to send a score to be admitted, and this is becoming a popular trend. According to fairtest.org, there are over 815 four-year universities that are test optional. For this story, the ACT declined requests for comment. For Teen Perspective 2 News, I'm Zach Newman.
Applying for college isn't easy, and trying to pay for it is even harder. But Khadijah McIntyre shows us where the most scholarship money can be found online.
Most scholarship money is hard to come by, but there are a lot of great and trusted sites out there to help students meet their college financial needs. I'm going to show you how to get money, keep in touch with the schools you want to attend, and even double your scholarships. College Board also has a site for their scholarship search. All you have to do is enter your personal information and hit See Results, and it will bring up a list of scholarships you're eligible for. The second website is College Prowler. College Prowler is comparable to Facebook, but for colleges. I have colleges here that I'm interested in, and they tell me about the college, and then here is a scholarship feed that tells you the scholarship deadline and whether or not you've applied for it. The third website is capex.com. Capex is almost like a dating site, but instead of introducing students to other people, it introduces them to scholarships. Last but not least is Zinch.com. Zinch has scholarship contests, and if you enter the contest and win, you get a scholarship, and it will match whatever you get. So this girl, she got $1,000. It also keeps you in touch with other colleges. For more information or for the links to these websites, go to abc2news.com/teenmedia. For Teen Perspective 2 News, I'm Khadijah McIntyre.
Filling out scholarship applications are hard, and looking for a job on top of that can add twice as much stress. Coming up on Teen Perspective, we got the best advice for getting extra money in your wallet.
Nearly a quarter of teens don't have jobs. An expert visits us to tell you what you can do to beat that statistic. All next on Teen Perspective. Welcome back to Teen Perspective 2 News. Because of the recent fiscal cliff debate, the term unemployment has been tossed around a lot. Government statistics say that the jobless rate is much higher for teens than for adults. As of October 2012, 23.7% of all teens who actively looked for jobs were unemployed, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. While this rate has gone down since its peak during the recession of 2009, the problem still persists, preventing many teens from getting job experience and, of course, money.
Teen Perspective's Patrick Bassler is here with the professor of economics to explain the whys and hows of the teen unemployment crisis.
Thanks, Zach. We're here with Dr. Ora Friedman, professor of economics at Stevenson University. And we're talking about the problem of teen unemployment in America. So thanks for coming on. Yeah, so my first question is, why do times of economic turmoil, if you will, affect unemployment like they do?
Well, teen unemployment rate is about 25% right now, and we can attribute it to the weak recovery. We can attribute it to the regular adult population looking for jobs once they get laid off and they take over the teens' jobs. The government has slashed funding supporting teens' summer jobs. Mm-hmm. And a very interesting pattern we see that of older Americans push teens' jobs away from them and securing them for themselves.
So a lot of these teens lose out on jobs that these older Americans will take because they don't have the same amount of experience as the teens do?
That is correct. Older Americans oftentimes are retirees
right.
who feel financially insecure and they would like to re-enter the labor force, but they have years of experience behind them, and so they have an advantage over teens.
What can teens do to get that type of experience? Because if they can't get these jobs as teenagers and they're coming out of college with virtually no job experience, that'll probably affect them later in life when they try to get these jobs, won't it?
Right. Well, experience is very important, and I think teens should look for experience any way they can. Well, for example, even throughout high school, join clubs, join volunteer work, work through the church. And even though these jobs may not be with a paycheck, teens will gain valuable experience working through these organizations.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we don't have much time left, but I just want to ask you before we go, since the Great Recession of '09, trends show that unemployment's been steadily dropping. Is that trend going to continue, especially for teens when they have that sort of opposition in the workplace?
I believe the unemployment rate will continue to decline together with a decline in the overall unemployment rate. So
okay.
Yes, there is hope in the future.
All right, well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
If you find yourself in a fruitless search for a job, myfirstpaycheck.com has some quality advice for you. When applying for jobs, teens should follow the 3 Ps: persistence, preparedness, and of course, politeness. Eye contact and a firm handshake give a great first impression, as can going to the interview prepared for anything. If you don't get the job, stick with it and continue to apply. You're sure to succeed at some point.
That wraps up this episode of Teen Perspective 2 News. Our next show is February 24th.
In the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.